pew, 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 pew. Well, wait a minute. Just shot my legs. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I am a videographer slash photographer located in the upstate of South Carolina. And today's video is, yeah, baby, another rumor video. And please understand, I'm not doing these to spread false information. I'm just reporting on what I see. So, the shots fired part in the beginning of the video is apparently something that may be coming from Sony. And that's in the form of the A7 IV and the A7S III. So, let me pull up something here. And this was leaked specs. I don't know the validity of these specs, so please don't kill me in the comments. But the reason why I say pew pew pew, it may be a shootout with the new Canon EOS R5. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it up in the card up top. So let's talk about the Sony possible A7 IV. So it's supposed to have a raw bit depth of 12 to 14 bit and continuous shooting, also silent shooting. It's supposed to be full frame 6K with a crop of 1.2x. Also does 5K, and then also does super 35mm 4K in 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. You're gonna have HDR, which is supposed to be a feature in the new ones, enhanced HDR, H-Log, S-Log2, and S-Log3, and then full HD video features 24, 25, 30, 50, 60, 100, and 120 frames per second. The viewfinder is supposed to have 5.7 megapixels, and the LCD screen is supposed to have 1.44 million megapixels. So that's the A7 IV, supposedly. So, having said that, it's not 8K. Who cares? Again, I explained in the Canon EOS R5 video that 8K is probably not going to be too usable in that camera. Plus, there's a lot of other various factors on whether or not you're going to be able to even shoot that much 8K. Possible overheating issues in the R5 if they keep the same body form factor, as well as having the resources like a computer to edit that type of footage. So that's the particular rumor on the A7 IV. Now let's talk about the A7S III. Full frame 4.8K in 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. Super 35 mode 4K in 24, 25, 30, 48, 50, and 60 frames per second. Also doing H-Log, S-Log2, and S-Log3. And then full HD video, the same, 24, 25, 30, 50, 60, 100, and 120 frames per second. Slow and quick motion. The viewfinder is going to be the same on both cameras, 5.76 megapixels and million, and then 1.44 megapixels on the actual LCD screen. So essentially, you know, obviously following in the steps of the A7S II, the A7S III is going to be more of a video-centric camera versus being a photographer camera, and the A7 IV is actually going to be a hybrid camera just like the A7 III. So I'm curious to know if these specs are actually true. Now, Sony's supposed to have an announcement sometime this month, or maybe at the latest early July. And even with these specifications, I'm curious to know if these are true, what the price is going to be. Is it going to be around the same prices as each prospective camera when they debuted, the predecessor I'm talking about? Also, if it's actually going to have 6K in the A7 IV, I think that would be pretty cool. I think what Sony needs to worry about as well are their bit rates. I mean, they got to come up with something better than 100 megabits per second. Yes, the quality in the A7 III looks great at 100 megabits, but you got Fuji rocking 100, 200, 400 megabits. The same with Canon, the same, with Panasonic, really high bit rates. So if you're supposedly going to have this enhanced HDR in these two cameras, then you would think you're going to have some higher bit rates. And also, is it truly going to shoot 10-bit internal 422 like these other cameras are talking about? So yeah, shots fired, competition maybe, who really knows? I'm just sharing with you the specs that got leaked by an unknown source, and I wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on it. I know there's been massive speculation on when it's coming out, what it's going to be. all that type of stuff. But I mean, that would be pretty cool if these two cameras ended up with those specs. But the only thing I'm worried about is price. Are they going to price it so far out of the park that they're not going to be able to compete with Canon? Again, the EOS R5 is supposed to be around $4,000. I'm thinking around $5,000. So if the A7 IV, even though it doesn't shoot 8K, can come in at around $24.99 or even $29.99, a little bit less than the Canon EOS R5 speculated price, then of course a lot of people, because Sony has been king of mirrorless cameras for a few years now, are going to stick with Sony, especially if they're invested in the ecosystem with the glass and everything. So I wanted to get your thoughts. I wanted to share this information, and let me know in the comments below what you think about these specs and whether or not you think they're going to be true. And hopefully we'll all find out either, early this month or later this month, or no later than July. So if you like content like this, then hopefully you'll stick around. And if you would, please consider subscribing and hit that bell icon so you get notified every time that I make a video. Until the next one, hasta luego.